Welcome back, friends, to a little segment I like to call BTS in a Brew. Today we are breaking down this first-person point of view, self-quarantine film that I made. And the brew, which I mentioned on the last episode, is Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA. Look at that color, if you can see it through the haze. I am extremely excited for this. Also, huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Wow. I forget every time. I only bought one bottle because it's like $10 a bottle. It's the most expensive. Pete, major thanks for this aerosol. Really came in clutch. Let's break this video down. The most common comment that I got on this video is, so simple, yet so beautiful. And that is more of a compliment than you might think, because this film actually was not simple at all, for me anyway, to shoot. And I'm gonna get into that a little bit, but I think one of the biggest compliments you can give a filmmaker, they made it look like something was effortless, when in actuality, it took quite a bit of effort. Let's dive in. Right away, first thing you notice is the piano. It's different than my normal style, and this was a short film, so I wanted it to have a different feel. I wanted that vibe of kind of playful, yet somber. In some way be both of those things, because that's sort of what the experience of day-to-day was at this time, is this roller coaster of emotions, of wonderful times playing with my kids and being home, but also extremely somber because of what's going on in the world. How I decided to capture this was with my phone, as opposed to a GoPro or Insta360 Go or anything like that. You could use whatever you want to do this sort of first-person POV. For me, my phone's easiest because it's on my person. I have a see-through case on it that I got from Five Below, and then it's got a pop socket on it. So every single time, I would take my phone out of my pocket, flip it around in the case. Before I put it back in the case backwards, I would open up the camera, because that wasn't something I was able to do once it was in the case. Then hit record, then throw it in my mouth, sanitize it throughout the entire day. But that was the method, the camera method for this. This next scene that happens was completely not staged at all. Yeah. You did! Good job! Two M&Ms. High five. Let's go downstairs. So for that, because you can obviously hear me talking, what I ended up doing was, it started in my mouth, I took it out of my mouth so I could talk to my daughter, and then I put it back in my mouth, obviously, for this going downstairs. A lot more time passed in between the starting shot and this shot than it seems, because almost every shot in this was in some way pre-planned or pre-thought out. The kisses were obviously a little bit weird, especially for Amber, because she was kissing my phone instead of me. One of the things that went into this film that you don't at all see in this film is the fact that I daily vlogged for a year in 2018, and my family is very used to me doing weird things with cameras, which is why I think that this kind of worked. They weren't just constantly looking at the camera in my mouth, they were able to kind of live their day-to-day as well. Shout out to my man, Hey Joe, who got me that mug the first time I was up in Toronto. Almost spilled the coffee. Actually, that might have been the second time I poured the coffee there. So, let me back up real quick. There are 3 times throughout this film that I try to drink liquid. Obviously, I'm not drinking liquid because there's a camera there and I'm just holding the cup up to my face. This was the scariest one. Well, there's red wine at the end on the couch, which was also very scary. But this was scalding hot coffee, so it ended up just being putting it up to the camera and hoping it didn't look too not real. What's your face in the camera? Another candid moment where Finley just happened to be wanting to take a picture of me. Little SGN. How about what John Krasinski's doing with SGN? Come on. So good.
What is happening to my parents?
What do you mean? Because we're watching SGN and Emily Blunt came on, the girls wanted to watch Mary Poppins Returns. Second cup of coffee. Love it. Another candid moment. Avery had gone into the closet and the recycling fell over and we freaked out and we jumped up and I just happened to have my phone on. So started recording. It's one of my favorite moments. I should say here, the mirror shot, I do come up and see my reflection in the mirror, and I did capture the reverse angle of that to see if I could sort of keyframe the non-phoned face onto that mirror, and I just couldn't do it, especially in a one-day turnaround because this is when I was daily vlogging. So I just cut. Outfit change. One of the motifs throughout this whole thing is how messy the house is, and that has been our reality for sure. And it's nobody's fault. I mean, well, if it was, it would be my fault. If it is somebody's fault, it's mine. Package delivered from DHL, just the wave and then he set it on the door. Pretty amazing. Working out. This is a shot I had to get twice. First one didn't work perfectly. This was hard because we were actually working out and I was like panting throughout this. You can hear me breathing a bit. Another drinking shot. That one was probably the most realistic. I think the water, I felt the most comfortable, like if this spills everywhere, it's fine. It didn't spill, which was cool. This was very hard. It doesn't maybe seem hard, but it was pretty hard to do sit-ups with the phone in my mouth trying to track Amber doing sit-ups. Hand washing, of course. Got a couple questions about this. This is chia pudding, very nutritional. Thankfully, iPhone 11 is waterproof. That was one of the times where I didn't use the audio as it was because it was just like, so I used like other shower sound audio and then just only put a little bit of those droplets hitting. But up until this point, the sound has been almost exclusively real, like diegetic. That's the sound that the phone actually captured. A little work, checking emails, writing emails. One of the things that I had a hard time thinking about was like how much of this should be work versus like family time, fun, just how fast should it move, all of that sort of stuff. And I decided to just keep it very minimally work because it was just a lot of computer stuff that day. And so like now we're already eating lunch. But I think it works in the film. I think everyone gets that side of it, that you do a lot of work at the computer. So I think it worked. Little Javier Mercedes FaceTime call. So you can see in this shot, the phone's in my mouth. I decided not to take that out. It's like a little Easter egg. I don't think anybody picked up on it. So this is actually evening now. This is after dinner, but I cut it in before dinner because it made more sense. Interesting thing about this, and you might have noticed it, I had to really cut out my audio from this because I'm like breathing and grunting every time I catch Avery. So I just dipped the audio. Beautiful dinner that Amber made. It was like a avocado, I don't know, that was incredible. Speaking of beautiful, let's talk about Squarespace really quickly before we end this thing out. Love Squarespace. That's where I host my own website. And they're there to support you. Support's fantastic. Fantastic templates that are designed to help you sell things, to help you convey messages, to help you interact and communicate with your customers and clients. Scheduling is completely integrated inside of Squarespace now. It's an all-in-one platform that helps entrepreneurs, creators like us, communicate well. If you want to try it out, go to squarespace.com/CodyWarner and you can get a free trial, and then when you're ready to buy, use the coupon code CodyWarner to get 10% off your first order. Squarespace, thanks again. So sawing and chopping wood and fires has just been one of my favorite things, and so I was really glad to be able to incorporate. We found all this dead wood and cutting it up. But again, this was a weird, hard thing to like have the phone in my mouth and also be sawing. Be safe out there, people. Netflix, staple. And then here's the red wine. Ending it with a cheers. So glad I didn't pour that wine all over myself and the couch. Thankfully, it just worked out. That's how I did it. That's how I shot it. That was some of the motivation behind it. I just wanted to convey we're all in this together, and that's really how I feel. If you want to do some sort of first-person POV like this, I would highly recommend it. Like, this is my favorite piece that I've made in quite some time. When I watch it, it feels very much like my experience of it. It's almost like a journal entry of that day for me. Would highly recommend it. Squarespace, thank you again for sponsoring. Get creative, make some stuff, all right? Let's get this thing.